Hi, I'm Rob from Rebel Safety Gear. The aim of this video is to show salespeople how good quality Rebel boots are made and compare them to how cheap boots are made. You will see the tricks that are used to reduce costs, but you'll also see the effect that they have on your workers' safety. Workers spend a large part of their day on their feet. One of the points that we'll always be coming back to is worker fatigue. We'll discuss how poor quality shoes can increase worker fatigue and how good quality boots can help to combat it. When you're looking to buy safety boots for your staff, you'll be faced with a wide choice of boots, and from the outside, they will generally look the same. It's very hard to tell the differences. The temptation then is to go for the cheapest boot. However, if one cuts the boots open, then one can immediately see the differences. Now, let's analyze these differences. Safety boots are generally made up of two parts, the sole and the upper. Let's look at the sole first. Most soles should be made of dual density polyurethane. Polyurethane is an oil-based compound which develops small bubbles of carbon dioxide as it's injected into the mold. It's durable, but it's lighter and more flexible than traditional rubber. Dual density PU has a hard layer of PU on the outside of the sole and a softer, spongier, thicker layer on the inside. The hard outer layer is durable and abrasion resistant and ensures that the sole of the shoe can withstand the thousands of steps that the user walks every day. The soft inner layer gives the sole its shape and its comfort. The sole is built up to ensure that the user is standing with the foot at the correct angle, which is the heel slightly higher than the toes. A comfortable sole will always help to combat worker fatigue. When a sole is made of dual density PU, then the two layers are molded together with the soft PU on the inside. The softer PU also then allows the sole to flex easily, ensuring that it does not crack after repeated flexing. Cheap safety shoes do not use dual density PU. They use a single density PU as it is cheaper, and older molding machines can only cope with single density. However, single density shoes use a PU that is neither hard enough for the outsole nor soft enough for the insole. This results in the sole wearing away too quickly and not being comfortable enough. The PU is also too stiff to allow the sole to flex easily, with the result that it will start to crack very early on in its life cycle. Manufacturers of cheap boots will often insert an EVA plug into the heel part of the sole of the boot. This is purely to take up space in the sole and reduce the amount of PU that's required. EVA plugs are a cheap synthetic compound that quickly collapse, causing the heel to sink into the sole of the shoe. Eventually, the user feels like he's walking uphill, as his heel is always below his toes. This, again, results in unnecessary worker fatigue. A critical part of the sole of the shoe is called the insole board. The shoe is built around the insole board. Rebel boots use Biaggioli insole boards, which are strong, rigid structures which give the shoe stability. They ensure that the shoe supports the foot. Poor quality safety shoes do not use a genuine insole board. They simply use compressed felt cuttings to act as a barrier to prevent the PU from bleeding into the shoe. This barrier does not add any rigidity to the shoe, with the result that it is unstable. The foot has to do more work to keep the body stable, as it's getting no support from the shoe. Once again, a poor quality shoe results in additional worker fatigue. The second part of the shoe is called the upper. Uppers are usually made out of leather. Leather can be classified into three different grades or splits. The outer split is known as full grain leather, which is generally the best leather. It's strong, durable, waxy and shiny. Full grain leather is obviously the most expensive leather for those reasons. The next best leather is known as inside split leather. It is the part of the hide that was closest to the internal organs of the animal and still has properties which give it strength and shine, but not to the same extent as the full grain leather. The cheapest grade of leather is known as middle split leather, which is very thin, weak leather. Factories will typically use chrome to tan that leather to try and improve its strength, but in a split, chrome leather remains cheap, non-durable leather. When factories make safety shoes, the most expensive part of the shoe is the leather. It stands to reason that if they want to make a cheap shoe, they'll use the cheapest leather available. Factories will then take chrome leather and coat it with a rubber lining on the inside to thicken the leather. They'll also coat the outside of the leather with a PU lining to make it look shinier. If one looks at a cross-section of this shoe, one can see that the only genuine leather visible is the thin slither of chrome leather. One can see the rubber lining on the inside and also the PU coating on the outside. A way to detect poor quality leather is by looking at where it stretches over the steel toe cap. Poor quality leather still shows very defined bumps on the Barton print, but genuine leather stretches naturally, and the bumps from the Barton print will flatten out as it stretches over the toe cap. Rebel boots use high quality full grain leather for the following reasons. A. Full grain leather is more durable and will not crack. B. Full grain leather quickly molds to the shape of your foot, ensuring a comfortable fit and no blisters. C. Full grain leather breathes and allows sweat and heat to dissipate through and out of the shoe. It ensures that your foot stays cool and dry. Cheap leather does not breathe, and so the heat and sweat that builds up in the shoe cannot escape, and the wearer becomes extremely uncomfortable. The shoe does not mold easily to the shape of your foot, and users will probably get blisters. And finally, the chances of the upper cracking are far higher. A worker who's got to wear safety boots made from cheap leather is going to be distracted from his job by his poor quality boots, by his feet feeling hot, uncomfortable and sweaty. Once again, a poor quality shoe will result in additional worker fatigue, and fatigued workers are far more likely to incur an industrial accident. These are just some of the differences between good quality Rebel boots and cheap boots. The lifespan of cheap boots will also be affected by poor quality machinery used in the manufacturing process. Furthermore, the comfort of cheap boots is affected by using substandard narrow toe caps and poor quality inner lining. Speak to your Rebel agent and he or she will gladly point out these differences to you. The bottom line is, your workers spend most of the day on their feet. Their safety shoe or boot is probably the most important item of PPE that they will wear. If they are issued with good quality boots, then they become less fatigued during the day and they're able to do their job better. I hope this video has given you some good insight into what makes up a good boot and how cheap boots are made, and why it's obvious to stick with Rebel. Thank you for your time.